Crystals are some of my favorite crystals. They are both beautiful, mesmerizing, and did you know it's one of the most abundant minerals on the earth? So these beautiful specimens are more than just sparkly crystals, much more than that. And we're going to get into it today in this video. They've fascinated people for centuries for their physical properties and the energy that many believe they hold. If you are new here, I'm a crystal educator. I'm Bella from Bella Luna Crystals. I have over 20 years of experience of working with crystals and teaching people about crystals. Make sure you hit that like button and give me a follow if you like learning about crystals. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers for January. All right, let's get into the video. Now, in my videos, I like to give you a little bit of the geological aspects and a little bit of the energy aspects. I like both. That's who I am. I'm not one or the other. All right. So we're going to dive in talking about the quartz crystal from a metaphysical perspective. Now, quartz is often called the master healer. Many people believe it can amplify your energy, enhance clarity of thought, help align your chakras. So for a lot of people that are into the metaphysics, it's a tool for spiritual connection and emotional balance. I am also into the woo-woo metaphysical stuff too, and quartz is really my go-to when I'm trying to enhance an intention, or let's say I have a crystal grid and I really want to take it up a notch. You bet I'm going to include some quartz in that grid. In fact, I don't really make any grids that don't have quartz except for my home grid. That's pretty much it. Now, quartz isn't just about energy work. It's really a powerhouse in modern technology, and it might be used in many ways that you would probably not expect. Now, for legal reasons, I do want to mention before we get into any energy works conversations here at Bella Luna is that we do not recommend crystals for anything other than energy work. If you're dealing with medical or mental health issues, please consult the appropriate professionals. Now that we've gone over the legal bit, let's talk about how quartz is formed. From a geological perspective, quartz is a mineral. I think a lot of people think of crystals and they just think rock and they don't put the two together that they're minerals, but they are most definitely minerals. It's made up of silicon dioxide, so that's one silicon atom and two oxygen atoms, so di meaning two of the oxygen atoms. And it forms deep within the Earth's crust under high temperatures and pressure that creates quartz. So as this rock is cooling when it was first initially forming, silicon and oxygen atoms start to bond together to create the crystalline structure, which is the thing that when we talk about crystals, where the name comes from, it is from that crystalline structure. Now, quartz crystalline structure is hexagonal, meaning that this crystal grows in six-sided prisms with pointed terminations. You've likely seen these natural formations in clear quartz. You've probably seen it in amethyst, citrine, which are varieties of quartz. And the process for quartz forming can take thousands and often millions of years. And depending on the color that is presented in the quartz will be determined by the minerals that are present when it's developing, whether it comes out a little black color and it's smoky quartz, whether it's more purple, we call it amethyst. If it's more pink color, we end up calling it rose quartz. And those yellow honey colors we call citrine, just to give you a few examples. That color is determined by what other minerals are present when that quartz is forming. Now, where do you find quartz? Where does it come from? Well, quartz comes from almost everywhere. It is one of the most abundant minerals on this earth, and it makes up about 12% of the Earth's crust. It's found in a variety of environments, from igneous rocks like granite to sedimentary formations and even metamorphic rocks. I mean, the best places if you are looking to hunt quartz near you, it is probably near you somewhere, would be places like riverbeds, beaches, rocky areas, and I did not tell you this, but landscape rock. I have found quartz landscape rock that had crystal points. I'll have to do a short on it. I found some in my yard that had crystal points forming in a vug in the just landscaping rock that was in my yard. So I'm not telling you to steal landscape rock, but if you're out somewhere and there's landscaping, rock, you may want to have a look and see what you can find if you don't have any riverbeds or beaches or rocky areas near where you live. Now, in some regions, crystals can be found right on the surface after a heavy rain when the dirt has washed away. And so these are places like Arkansas, but even in Northern California here, I got a spot that after a good rain, I know I'm going to find some good quartz. I go there after every rain if I can, because unfortunately, it doesn't rain here as often as we really need it to. Of course, the most famous quartz specimens typically come from Brazil, and that's predominantly what you're going to see on the crystal market. Occasionally, you'll see Arkansas quartz. I would say that's a really big source of quartz as well from the crystal collector perspective. But the Brazilian, I think is the most common in my opinion. And Brazil is really world famous for their high quality quartz deposits. They just have a lot. And there's even different varieties. We could start talking about like Lemurian quartz in another video, but Brazil is going to be probably the main spot that quartz on the crystal market you're going to see. Now, whether you're exploring nature or you're visiting a rock shop, quartz is one of the most easiest to find crystals. It is so accessible. It's abundant, and it's why I think it's a favorite for everybody. It's a great starter crystal. If you have kids that are getting into crystals, you're getting into crystals, quartz is typically very affordable, and often, like I said, you could find it on your own. And please know, if you do crystal energy work, finding a crystal in the wild, like even if you found, like I said, I have found landscaping rocks that are tumbled with little quartz points in, they also work for energy work. You don't just have to buy them from a crystal shop. You can absolutely find them on your own. Now, let's talk about quartz from a scientific perspective. You know, you've probably heard of the term piezoelectricity before. And quartz is famous for this. It can generate an electrical charge when under pressure. Now, if you're on other forms of social media, probably about a year ago on TikTok, they had these videos trending where people would hit together two quartz crystals in the dark and you would see light flashing from those crystals. And that is because under pressure, we can generate an electrical charge with quartz crystals. So when someone ever tells you crystals don't work, they actually do, and crystals are used in a lot of modern technology, from watches. Quartz crystals are used to create precise frequency and keep time. They're in your smartphones. Anything that has a computer chip has quartz technology. Now, nowadays, they're not using actual quartz crystals, like we're not mining them to use them in technology. They're going to use synthetic versions of it, but it comes from crystal technology. GPS devices, a lot of medical equipment uses quartz, you know, and it's really cool to think how something so natural really plays a crucial role in our digital world. You know, you have your smartphone and you should just know that you are carrying around a little synthetic quartz crystal technology with you wherever you go. And I just think that's so cool. Now, beyond the sciencey stuff, quartz is really captivating, just in general, for people who believe in energy work with crystals. And a lot of people say it's the stone of amplification and clarity. It's really good for working with your intentions, setting personal goals. And I would agree with all of these statements. As I said initially in the video, quartz is my go-to for amplification. I love this crystal. So any crystal grid that I make, it will have quartz, with the exception of my home grid. I just use black tourmaline and selenite typically with that. So it's great for enhancing that. And working with quartz is really simple. I feel like so many people try to place all these rules and steps on, like, if you want to work with crystals, you know, you got to wear bracelets on your left or your right, and you can't switch them. And, you know, you got to sit like this and you got to light a candle. And I just want, no, like, just keep it simple. Holding it, hold it while you meditate. That's working with crystals. Putting it on the desk while you're journaling, while you're doing your vision board, while you're, you know, writing out your intentions. That is all working with crystals. And I do this around my house. I'm like looking for quartz near me. I usually have some right by me. I do. It's amethyst. I will place quartz strategically over all around my house. And depending on the type of quartz specimen it is, like this is amethyst, this calming, soothing energy, I will place it strategically based on the intention that I have set for the crystal. So just having it around as decor in your space, that is working with crystals. When any crystal work, and if you follow me, you know this, you know how big of a proponent I am on this. You need to have an intention. You need to have a goal when you work with crystals. If you want to channel that energy through the crystal and out to the universe, you need to have a purpose for it. And honestly, I think not having an intention is why crystals don't generate any type of result for people. And I also think it's why a lot of people who used Moldavite had that F around and find out kind of moment because they just picked it up without a purpose or an intention. So intention is key. Now, what does it mean exactly to work with crystals? I told you that it's easy to work with them, but what does that exactly mean? You know, I want you to think of it as like a mindfulness practice. It is so easy for us to get so caught up in the day-to-day, especially if you have a lot of responsibilities. Maybe you have kids, maybe you have family, you got a job, you got pets. And it's so easy to get stuck in like the mundane day-to-day activities of our life and to kind of get stuck on the hamster wheel and not really set intentions or goals or purpose. And this is where I see a lot of people struggle. But when we use crystals and we have this mindfulness practice, crystals can assist you in that. So it could be something as simple as, let's say you put amethyst in your kitchen. And I like amethyst in the kitchen. It is quartz and it's purple color, comes from iron. And in the kitchen, amethyst is calming and soothing. I'm a stress eater. So I also have the amethyst as my intention to be mindful. I see the amethyst. Am I really hungry, or is this my stress? I'm going to take a deep breath. It's encouraging me to get grounded in the moment instead of getting into that autopilot of stress eating again. So that is one way you can work with crystals, is to have it as incorporated in your mindfulness practice. Now, other things we can do could be meditation. I know not everyone's down with meditation, so the easiest way is to set an intention and place the crystal in a space around you that you're going to see it a lot to remind you of that intention. You could simply just enjoy their beauty, though. Doesn't have to be much more than that if you just like them, because quartz itself can be really supportive on any type of spiritual journey you're on. And if you're not ready to give these intentions to it, but you just want to have them in your space, that is step one. And all of us crystal practitioners will tell you that is just the gateway. But start there if some of the other stuff I said is feeling a little too overwhelming for you. Quartz crystals are just simply amazing. Whether you appreciate them for the geological aspects, their role in technology, their energetic purposes, remember the way that you work with quartz is personal and unique to you. So let it really inspire you, whether it's scientifically, spiritually, or simply aesthetically. Those are all great ways to work with quartz. You can like the science stuff, you can like the woo-woo stuff, you can like both, or you can just like one or the other. All of those folks are more than welcome here. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you found it helpful, don't forget to like, comment, ask me questions. You can drop video suggestions below. If there's a crystal you want to learn about, drop them in the comments on any of my videos. I do my best to read all of my comments. I appreciate all of you so much. I love talking about rocks. So ask me any rock questions you like below in the comments, and have a beautiful day.